Hello everybody, Liz here and welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk to you guys about The Chosen by J.R. Ward. So this is the 15th book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. Yes, 15th. So the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, for those of you who do not know, is a paranormal slash urban fantasy romance. Takes place in New York, and it follows the species of vampires and the elite warriors of the species, and it follows them obviously falling in love and dealing with their mortal enemy, the Omega slash the Lessers. The first book is called Dark Lover. If you are interested in checking it out, it is a very interesting series that I very much enjoy for the most part. And then today, like I said, I want to talk about The Chosen, which is the 15th book in the series that follows Layla and X-Core. I know that's not how you say his name, but that's how I'm going to say his name through this review. I ended up taking ever to finish this book. It took me like 4 months to finish this book, which is a really long time for me, especially for a Ward book. Usually it takes me at the most 2 weeks, and that's if I'm busy or going to school or XYZ. This book took me a really long time. I ended up giving it like a 2.5 or 3 out of 5. It's probably like the lowest rating I've ever given to a J.R. Ward book and to a romance book in general. And bear with me and I'll let y'all know why I gave it such a low rating. Okay, so like I said, I gave this a really low rating, and I think it's because of the couple. So I guess as it follows Layla and X-Core, and they have been my least favorite couple ever. Like, ever. I don't like them as individual characters. Okay, so I do like X-Core, but not as a person, if that makes any sense. I like him as a villain. I liked him as the antagonist that we knew him in a few books. And then Layla, I've just never really liked her. There's just something about her character that's always irked me, and then the fact that in this series, this book, we were gonna get them both together, I was a little upset. But I knew I was gonna read the book anyway, because I know that Ward loves to kind of, you know, sow the seeds for other things and, you know, answer questions XYZ for other books and other couples. So overall, every time I would get to a Layla or X-Core chapter, I was reading through River's perspective, and I was really like into it. And whenever I would get to their part, I would just stop reading. It was boring. I don't like Layla. I didn't like her. I didn't like her character arc in this. I didn't like the choices that she's made up until this point. They all just seemed really stupid and very like just annoying as hell, and I just didn't like her. And then X-Core, like I said, I liked him as a villain, I liked him as an antagonist. I think he worked really well for that, but the moment that it started shifting into a potential love interest, which is saying something because this series is notorious for very morally gray, morally ambiguous characters, like Assail, who I'm super excited to see his like romantic arc, but just not Layla, not X-Core. I'm gonna move into the spoiler a bit, just because I want to talk about very specific things that really pissed me off. If you have not read the book or you have not read the series, I definitely encourage you to go check it out. The books are a little bit dated, especially the first ones, so bear with some of the stuff if you do end up reading them. I definitely enjoy the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, so if you haven't read them, go read them, and if you're committed, do it and come back and we'll talk about this book. If you have read this book, I will be continuing with the spoilers in 1, 2. Okay, so like I said, did not like the coupling in this book. First of all, let's talk about Layla's character arc. It was frustrating and it was infuriating. Throughout this entire thing, she has essentially been going behind the entire Black Dagger Brotherhood and the King's back. Like, X-Core shot breath, and you were just gonna go off and, you know, trying to fuck him? Like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Okay, so I really did like I do like X-Core as a villain. As an antagonist, I think that worked really well. It was an interesting storyline, like these opposing forces wanting the same thing, which was the throne. And then that whole thing ended, and then all of a sudden he was starting to get a redemption arc. And I didn't like that. I feel like he didn't need a redemption arc. There was no need for it. Like, he should have died. Like, we shouldn't have kept him in a coma and have him fall in love with Layla. Like, it shouldn't have happened. So we have them finally, like, getting together and having sex. And it was the most lackluster scenes. Like, them hooking up were so bland. I was like, you could have made it explosive. It could have been explosive, and it wasn't. It was really lacking in that too, which is really disappointing. I was like, at least I'm gonna get some really good, like, sexy time scenes, and I didn't. I felt like it was lacking in just passion, and it was just lacking. So we have the kind of essentially the antagonizing moment, which was when Layla accidentally confessed that she had been seeing fucking X-Core, and Quinn lost his shit with fucking reason. I would have been furious. Like, he might have been a little excessive by, like, trying to shoot her, but let's be honest, I probably would have done that too. I was on board with Quinn the entire time. Okay, for most of his anger, and obviously, like, there was some tension between him and Blay that was, thank God, resolved at the end. But I felt like he was in the right to be so upset, because, like, she fucked up. She done fucked up. And then him and Blay, I did not like them, like, strongly, because I love them together. They're one of my favorite couples, and so I didn't like that. And then we have fucking Tor and X-Core being related. Don't get me started on how fucking annoyed I was at the fact that Tor was just like, oh, he's my brother. Okay, I'm gonna forgive and forget that he did all of this shit. And at the end of the fucking book, they were cool. I was like, okay, if my brother tried to kill someone who I've been loyal to my entire fucking life, and, like, just because he's my blood, I'm gonna be like, you know what, it's okay. No. Fuck all that bullshit. Nope. I would have shot him in the head. I was like, you might be my blood. We might have the same daddy, but you're still a horrible person that tried to kill my brother, essentially. And that pissed me off. And so then we have, V's kind of storyline where he's, like, contemplating cheating on Jane. This is why you read your own books, because I was like, when is he gonna cheat? Like, I was waiting for the moment to happen, but he didn't actually cheat on her. He just thought it, which was disappointing. But I feel like we haven't seen them together at all. Not that I'm condoning cheating, but, like, it would make sense that for his character, he would kind of, like, start to separate. With particularly, I think that lady that he's stalking or whatever is Manny's sister, and she's going to be part vampire, and I feel like something's gonna happen there. Like, she's gonna come in and fall in love with somebody, right? Like, who? That's the real question, but she's gonna do it. Oh, and then we have Lasseter, whatever his name is, being the new scribe virgin, which is interesting. I feel like I would have liked it better if it had been a different character as opposed to somebody we've already met. For a second, I think I, like, speculated that it was Layla's daughter that was gonna be the scribe virgin later on, but it's him, and it doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense to me, so maybe I'm missing something there. Maybe I need to go back and read something, but it's definitely strange. We have also Wrath forgiving him pretty easily, which is fine. I mean, like, forgive and forget. He has a kid. He's like, you know what, he's getting too old for that shit, so I understand. But I was a little, like, it was just so clean cut. I feel like there wasn't enough conflict in that aspect. And then we're gonna fast forward to the fight scene. No, wait, before that, we have, like, Thor's perspective, which was a little boring at first because I didn't know what was going on. But then we have a new evil coming, or maybe, like, the Omega is, like, reviving himself, or something. Something is going on we're gonna have a new antagonist, perhaps, and Thor is gonna bring him in because he wants to be king. So let's see where that goes, just because it was a little fuzzy, because it kind of took me out of the story for a second. Like, it didn't grasp as much as, but then again, like, I think that's just the issue with because you don't care that much about what the villain is thinking, you just know that they're doing something bad. And we have kind of lessers too, so that I feel like that's what's gonna bring the Lesters more. I had heard rumors that they're gonna bring Lash back, which is definitely interesting. I need to go back and reread the first couple of books to kind of refresh myself on his like story arc, his whatever the fuck is going on with him. Okay, now I can go and talk about the fight scene. So we have Wrath being like, I will forgive you and the band of bastards if you guys all kneel to me, which is, I guess, cool or whatever. I was like, fine, make them bitches kneel. So they don't kneel technically to him, they kneel to X-Core, and then X-Core was like, oh, well, if they follow me, then I will never go against you, which is, I was annoyed as hell by that. I was like, just fucking kill him. You should have killed him. You shouldn't have kept him. You shouldn't have kept him in whatever. You should just let him die. Like, anyway, so they have this whole fight, and they're fighting side by side, and like this trauma, you know, they're like fighting together, and they are like buddies at the end of it, and they all move in. I was like, Quinn, honey, you've been hating this man for like 400 pages, and then all of a sudden you are okay with him touching your daughter? I was disgusted. I'm all for happy endings. Like, I love my happy endings. And I think it's just my bitterness for this couple. Like, I did not care for them at all. I didn't care about X-Core's sappy backstory. I didn't give a shit. Like, nobody's backstory, I think, is as sad as Zeta's. Like, there's no beating that. And I think that that's kind of the feel that I was getting, like, oh, he's so tragic, like his mother didn't want him, and then like he got, you know, he was abused and left behind, and then he got taken in by the bloodletter. But he embraced that fate with the bloodletter. Like, he embraced the shit of it. Yes, he might have had like abandonment issues, and like he wanted to be loved or whatever, and Layla brought the good in him out in him or whatever. I keep saying or whatever because I'm annoyed. I was like, okay. I was like, cool story, bro, but you still killed a bunch of people and you still tried to kill Wrath. So his backstory wasn't as emotional as I feel like it should have been. I think I skipped through most of it. Like, I skimmed through it. I was just like, okay, you had a sad past. Everybody, all of the brothers have had some kind of sad past. I mean, granted, I think the one that has the least sad past was like Rage, and he's my favorite, but like, don't get me wrong, I do very much love J.R. Ward's books. I'm going to continue reading them. I just think that this is the one book that just made me angry, which is a good thing, I think, because like I'm so invested in her stories that it just makes me very angry that this particular story was written. I think this would have worked perfectly fine without, you know, Layla and X-Core being front and center of the couples. It makes me annoyed that the fucking band of bastards is now living with everybody else when they were your enemy a few books ago, and you were like gonna hunt them down, and you were hunting them down. Like, you could have left them live somewhere else. Like, they did not need to live. They did not need to live in the mansion. Like, it was unnecessary. X-Core should not be around children. He should not be around Layla's children. Like, they should have kept that arrangement going. Like, you get to keep the kids a few times, I get to keep the kids, but you are not coming back into this house, you traitorous bitch. You are not coming back into this house. You are not bringing this man in around children. No fucking way. I'm mad. It makes me really annoyed. Like, whatever, I'm glad they're happy, I guess, and Quinn and Blair fine, and Tor is fine, and I have a lot of emotions. Most of it is just anger because I didn't care for this couple, and I'm gonna keep saying that. I thought their sex scenes were lackluster. I think Thor's sex scene with that one random vampire chick was way more exciting than them getting together. Their love felt so, I just didn't like it. I didn't like them together. I feel like they might have brought out the best in each other, but I didn't care for them. I didn't care for their backstory. I didn't understand why they were together. Like, this whole Romeo and Juliet, like, working out together, even though Romeo had killed all of these, X-Core being Romeo, had killed all of these people that were so near and dear, or like had, I don't know, like, so much shit happened because the Band of Bastards was like trying to take the throne from Wrath, and we're just gonna forgive that. I don't think any other character, except maybe from Maseo, who we saw being completely and utterly detoxed, which I'm like, I'm excited for his book. I'm excited for Blood Fury, which I'm gonna request from my library because I can't buy the hardcovers. They don't fit in my shelf. I am excited for the next installment. This has been, I think, the one that has made me the angriest. and I'm gonna stick with that. I just didn't like some of the stuff. I didn't like their romance. I didn't like their sexy times. I didn't like how everything was kind of wrapped in a bow for them. I feel like it shouldn't have. I feel like they I got really upset when Quinn was like joking around with him. I was like, you literally wanted to murder him and you wanted to murder Layla. You couldn't even look at your fucking child because it reminded you of Layla, and all of a sudden you're gonna let this man touch your daughter? Girl, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. And so yeah, I'm not happy with them being together. Hopefully we get some resolution with V and Jane. I want them to be together just because they have been the couple that are the least affectionate. So V, you better not fuck that up for me. I'm rooting for you. And then we have his sister, Manny's sister. I want to see more of Manny and Payne. I want to see more of, you know, the domestic side of them. Although this isn't the story is about, I understand. But I want to see more of them. And I am excited for the next book. I've said that already. Just, yeah, I didn't like the way that it was wrapped up. I didn't want the band of bastards in the house. I was upset that Quinn was so willing to forget that this man, he hated this man at the beginning of the book, and then he was joking with him, and he let him touch his daughter, and I enjoyed parts of it. I am, like I said, I'm gonna read the rest of the series because your girl's committed. I love my boys except X-Horde and Layla, and I love their heroines and everything. So I'm excited for the next book. I'm excited for the rest of the series. I don't think I'm disappointed in any of the next couples that are coming up, or the next 3 books, right? The next 3 couples. So yeah, this has been the only disappointment. I didn't cry, I didn't care. I am going to go and reread one of the J.R. Ward books that I do love and that I do enjoy, and wait for my library or for me to have money to buy the Kindle version of Blood Fury, and then wait for the next one. So yeah, I apologize if this review is extremely salty and you weren't happy with anything I said. I'm just being honest. But yeah, guys, that is all for me. This is my review on The Chosen. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I should reread it? Or like, give me points to not hate Layla and X-Car as much, because I'm set in my ways at this point. But if you have a reason for me not to hate them, or you think that I should reconsider, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I am always open to discussions and to talking about these books and the future of these stories. So yeah, that is all for me, folks. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night whenever you happen to be watching this, and happy readings. Adios!